Hi everybody, my name is Emma Ponton. I am a student here at Tech and I'm going to be presenting my strategic campaign for communities and schools of the South Plains, Support That Stays. What we're going to be discussing today, we're going to be meeting the team, we're going to be going over the client background, the problem statement, and the SWOT analysis. We'll be discussing the research, the campaign plan, the strategies and tactics, evaluation, timeline, and budget. First, let's meet the team. That would be myself. Like I said, my name is Emma Ponton. I am from Waco, Texas. I am currently a senior at Texas Tech with hopes of graduating this upcoming weekend. Fingers crossed. As the lead member of the hypothetical agency, Matador Media Co., I bring nonprofit experience, lots of social media experience, and lots of campaign, event, branding experience. After graduation, I do hope to work in the nonprofit sector in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Following my experience with my internship, I absolutely loved it and fell in love with the field, so that would be the dream. A bit about the organization. CISSP is a Lubbock-based nonprofit. They have been serving the area for over 20 years now and are currently serving 11,500 students across 94 different campuses. CISSP is well known for their site coordinators that they have. These site coordinators work directly with students in person, helping them with both academic and non-academic obstacles that they may be facing. The current issue that CISSP faces is that as their demand for their services is growing, their funds are not. They are needing more funding for more capacity, with over 20 campuses on the waitlist, like I previously said, and 10 new campuses joining in the upcoming school year. The need for increased community awareness and recurring donors and donor engagement is now needed more than ever. The strengths that the organization has is that they have, like I said, been in business for over 20 years now. They have those site coordinators, which are such an asset for the organization, that in-person help. They provide counseling. They provide just, a person to talk to for the students. And then that holistic approach of tackling both the academic and the non-academic obstacles that the students are dealing with. And then lastly, they have strong ties in the community because they have been around for so long. The weaknesses that the organization faces, they do have social media presence, but it's not super consistent. And the social media is not currently very personable, something that the nonprofit field highly benefits from. The opportunities for the organization is that they can expand that social media presence through stronger storytelling, using more interactive content to boost the engagement, hosting donor appreciation events, as you'll see in my campaign later, and then just increasing that emotional connection that would ultimately drive donor engagement and recurring donations. The threats that they face, the rising poverty rates, the 20 campuses on the waitlist, like I said, and 10 joining this upcoming school year, and then limited staff and funding and competition from other nonprofit organizations. Through my research, I found that the demographics of respondents we had were between ages of 18 to 24. 64% of them were from the Lubbock area, and about 60% were male and 40% were female. When asked about their awareness of CISSP, only 12% were familiar with the organization, but most had limited or no prior knowledge of CISSP. Donor motivation. When asked about that, many of them said they would like transparency on how the money is being used, as well as student success stories, and then 20% said visible community impact. When asked about the awareness gap, only 12% felt knowledgeable about CISSP, yet 72% said they'd be likely to donate. This shows that there's a need for clear communication, and then transparency builds trust. 36% want to know where the donations are going. So sharing clearer visuals that break it down, such as $20 equals lunch for 6 students. And then when asked about their preferred communication channels, email was the top choice, followed by social media. Now we're going to be getting into my campaign plan. The theme of the campaign is going to be Support That Stays. It's going to be highlighting the real impact of CISSP through local stories. It's It's aiming to close that awareness gap about service like mentorship, mental health, support, and basic needs. The campaign aims to feature voices of students, staff, and community members across the South Plains region. We plan to use engaging social media storytelling to show outcomes, example, graduation rates, student resilience, and then including a donor appreciation event or two to celebrate and encourage recurring support. This encourages pride, visibility, and collective action in the West Texas communities. The target publics for my campaign were local adults between the ages of 30 to 65 in the South Plains area. This is working professionals, parents, longtime residents of the South Plains region. This group of people is likely to become recurring donors due to their stability financially, and then their local ties as well as their commitment to supporting community-based causes. Our second target public was local business owners and potential community partners. This could just be great opportunities for extracurriculars or sponsors, things like that. The key messaging for this campaign is going to be that CISSP provides personalized, school-based support to help students stay in school and succeeds by addressing academic, emotional, and basic needs both inside and outside of the classroom. The organization is fueled by local South Plains community members through donations, volunteering, advocacy, with monthly giving, ensuring ongoing support. And then lastly, raising awareness and transparency about CISSP's builds trust, encouraging deeper engagement and community involvement. All right, so goal 1 is to increase awareness of communities and schools of the South Plains. Our objective to do this is boosting CISSP's Instagram and Facebook engagement by 25% by June 1st of next year. Our strategy is to use human-centered storytelling to showcase services, staff, and student impact across digital and local channels. The tactics to do this will be posting when audience is most active, whether that's early evenings, weekend mornings, using targeted hashtags such as Lubbock, nonprofit, community, and then sharing reels and short videos that are emotional, fast-paced, and informative. These are just great for engagement. Launching a recurring series, I named it Worth Every Penny. This just highlights donation impact, but in a more understandable way. $10 equals this many resources for a student, things like that. And then maintaining a consistent weekly content calendar, and then featuring community supporters with thank you posts and bios, sharing authentic stories from students, staff, and volunteers, giveaways for followers who engage or share content, using captions with questions to spark comments and interaction. My second objective was to increase CISSP's email subscriptions by 10% by June 1st of 2026. Strategy to do this was using social media engagement to drive traffic to the email sign-up page. My tactics for this were to funnel social media posts to the email landing page, as well as placing email sign-up links in both the Instagram and Facebook bios, mentioning the link in bio in email sign-up or for email sign-up in post captions, offering incentives for signing up such as that gift card or a monthly giveaway, creating an Instagram story highlight titled Join, just so people know whenever they land on that account, that's where they go, and it'll tell them exactly how to join. And then offering early access for those 2 donor appreciation events through the email sign-up, and lastly, boosting social media posts promoting email sign-ups. The next goal is to increase recurring donations. The objective is to increase recurring donors by 20% by May 2026 through donor database tracking and campaign landing page activity. Strategy is to host 2 donor appreciation events throughout the year to thank supporters and raise organizational visibility. Tactics to do this. Event 1 will be an education-themed trivia night with prizes like local gift cards and CISSP merchandise. Event 2 is going to be a student art show featuring giveaways, tote bags, keychains, t-shirts for attendees. Events are free for donors and their guests, expanding CISSP's reach organically. Both of these events will be held in Lubbock to engage the largest portion of the community, which is currently over 52%, including videos of students, parents, and staff thanking donors during the event, set up a photo booth encouraging social media sharing, providing flyers with info and QR codes for easy donations, branded pencils for trivia participants, and then a sign-up station for new donors of the events. These are just a few visuals to get an idea of what I'm thinking. The CISSP art show is very artsy. It would be at the Vintage Township Town Hall. And then the Instagram graphics, and then, of course, the trivia night with question marks and very much so trivia themed. And that would be at the Municipal Garden and Arts Center Cultural Hall. The evaluations. So for output evaluations, the easiest way for us to track this is through social media traction, website traction, donor signups, and email signups. The physical way to track the campaign's overall increase or effectiveness is through increased volunteer attendees and organizational growth. The timeline for this campaign looks like this. We're going to be starting it in June of this year. We'll be launching and planning it. In August, we would be hosting the first trivia night and the early engagement we would be tracking. In October through January, it's just going to be that mid-campaign growth, just being consistent with it and continuing to track it. In March, we're planning to host the art show and again, tracking that donor engagement. In April and through June, we will be wrapping up and then doing that final evaluation to analyze the effectiveness of the campaign. The budget for this campaign is $15,000. This whole campaign came out to be around $13,500. 42% of it is going to be going to the event rentals, and then 27.5% will be going to that custom merch that we'd be giving out, and then 22% would be going to social media. The rest would just be going to the staff and the gift card giveaways. Thank you so much for your time. Matador Media Co. appreciates this opportunity and hopes that this campaign achieves the goals you are looking for. CISSP is an incredible organization, and to be even a small part of that would be such an honor. Thanks again.